right, here we go. Howdy doody, welcome back to the ranch. My name is Mick. This, a 1941 International Harvester TD-14 crawler tractor. This has a dozer blade on the front, an absolute piece of history right here. I have been working on making this day happen for about a year now. Came across this tractor on the marketplace, good old marketplace.
Is this available? Yes, it is.
Like I said, about a year ago, been working out with the deal with the lady that is selling it. Her father owned it. It has been on this property since the 80s, I believe. He passed away, and here it has sat ever since. Today, we're gonna get it running.
You sure about that?
So a lot of histories with these dozers, with these tractors, backbone of the United States, if you will. The TD-14s and 18s played a huge role in World War II. Back in that era, like I said, this is from 1941 is what I dated it back to. So back then, huge progress with roadways and such, especially during the war. So a lot of history tied to these tractors, and I am super excited to get to work on this thing. I've been kicking back and forth here since the winter, just trying to get prepped for the day. A couple challenges lie ahead though. I can tell just by looking at it, it was well maintained. However, it's been sitting outside now, not running for over 20 years, probably pushing 30 years at this point. I tried turning over the engine by hand a couple months back, and I snapped the belt clean off. Hurt my hand quite a bit too, didn't feel good. But that's gonna be my first issue. I've been soaking the cylinders down now.
As you can see, we are soaking all the cocks in this room right now.
I'm hoping that we can get it freed up today, but only one way to find out. Challenge number two, there's only one exhaust pipe here, but I pulled the first bucket off and unveiled a huge wasp's nest. So that's just perfect. Don't know how I'm going to evacuate those suckers without getting brutally stung, but we're gonna try. Challenge number three, if and when we get this thing running, the hydraulic hoses are in poor shape. We'll go through them later. I'm hoping I can at least hold enough pressure to get the blade chained up for the move, but that is calling my game way too far ahead of time. So we're gonna start by seeing if we can get the thing turning over. Hey y'all, I'm gonna interrupt here for just a quick second just to say this is a good video. Obviously I'm sitting in the future, so I know how it turns out, and obviously I'm a little biased. but there's a lot of good trial and error on this one and a lot of good outcome. So I hope you stick around to the end. It's definitely a good one to watch. Also, for those of you that are returning subscribers and joining me again, thank you. For those of you that are returning viewers, thank you. If you haven't subscribed and you're a returning viewer or you're a new viewer, I hope you consider subscribing to the channel. Obviously, I'm a pretty fresh face here, and I'm hoping it's videos like this that really push me along in this whole world. So I am very much aware that I can't do that without you guys. So I hope you consider. I really would appreciate it, but I'm gonna quit yapping. I'll leave you guys to it. Take care. I'll see you soon. I don't know if you could see those suckers flying around, but they are not happy. So I'm gonna keep my distance for now. Cool little factoid with these engines. It is a diesel engine. It's a 4-cylinder. However, the way that International differs from the Caterpillars from back in this time period is, if you know anything about Cat engines, they use what's called a pony motor to start the diesel engine. Basically all it is like a little lawnmower engine, and its sole purpose is to turn the diesel engine over quick enough until it fires. The way that International did this, and I explained this a little bit further in a previous video where I was rebuilding the carburetor off of this, the way that they did it back in the day is they used a gasoline setup with lower compression to get the engine started, and then there's valves that you could pull to bump the compression back up and engage the diesel fuel through the injection pump to get it running on the diesel side of the engine. So it's actually one 4-cylinder engine that runs on both gasoline and diesel. Really cool, really interesting, kind of hard to explain, but in essence, that's how it works. So in order to get this thing running today, what we have to do is get it running on gasoline and spark first, which this is an old Magneto. Don't know what kind of shape it's in. Hopefully I get some spark with that thing, and then next steps are just getting fuel to it, and hopefully it'll pop off. So without further ado, I got to get started on evacuating these wasps and then we got to see if this thing will even turn over. Godspeed. Wish me luck. Oh boy. Oh, this bucket is full of them.
Finish him!
One down, probably 50 to go.
Dang it!
Come on. Oh boy. Not my best moment ever, but and I shattered the bucket. Okay, evicted. Now that that's over with, I didn't want to get too close to this thing. We can give a little walk around and just show you some details here. This is the gasoline side. Magneto down here, carburetor up here, spark plugs. Here's your oil fill, filters, generator here, your belts are on the inside obviously, and exhaust manifold up there. Walking around the other side, you got a nice big International harvester blade. I always thought that was a really cool detail there. Diesel side, injection pump, obviously 4 pipe runs off of that. This pipe is where the gas tank sits, but I actually pulled that off to clean it ahead of time. Fuel filter up there, and your injectors run up to each cylinder. Moving along, obviously the most notable part of these tractors is the armature here. These were made by WWII actually. Some of them you'll get a big like nameplate or badge on the side of the cylinder. This one doesn't have that, but I believe they're still made by WWII, but correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if International made these booms or not. Oh, there you go. WWII right there. So they did make it. On the back, we have a logging style winch. This thing is so cool looking. Another really, really cool part about this tractor that when I'm looking at it, I mean, it's just, the stance is wild. It's so cool looking. Here's your hydraulic tank and pumps. Obviously, our hoses have seen better days, so that's definitely going to be a challenge. Undercarriage is in great shape. I'm not all rounded out here. There's still a lot of meat left on those bones. All of my parts down here are just in really good shape. A lot of life left, which is great. Although, the thing to keep in mind here is if I can't get this thing running, I don't have the means of moving the tractor. So if I can't get this running and driving, then unfortunately I won't be walking away with it. So we're going to do everything we can to get this thing saved and in my possession, because I would love to have this thing laying around my future homestead, you know what I mean? Within the cab, you have your gear select here, your clutches and brakes, and then I believe that lever down there is a high-low selector. Doesn't have any sort of hour meter, but we do have oil pressure, water temp, and amperage. I believe this button here is your starter switch. There is no key for this unit. Once you plug in your battery, you're hot. Got our spots for 2 batteries down here, and then I did cut a piece of plywood that I could sit my tootski on.
Tootski.
Lastly, this lever here is your engage and disengage for the diesel side. So that's your compression lever, basically. Diesel is there. There's some in there. It smells not the worst, but not the best. I brought some to top it off, but it should be fine. Stuff that's sitting in there. Hydraulic oil. There is some in there. It's not full, but there is some in there. Here's our dipstick down here, and oil fill is here. I did already check this, and last time I was here, it was good. But for the sake of use, it's right on the mark. Looks clean as well. Smells good, so we're not gonna mess with it. Another really cool detail here, this is your coolant fill, which I have had this off and I checked it before. It looks grody in here, but there is coolant in it. And for my purposes, that doesn't matter right now because I don't have a belt.
How do you keep your pants up when you're performing? It's incredible. Belt.
The goal is if I can get this thing running, the plan is to either grab a new belt or just get one of the adjustable ones that I can throw on temporarily just to get this one out of here. That way I can be cooling and charging. I'm not gonna fork over the money for a belt yet if I haven't even verified that this thing will run. So speaking of running, I think we are to that point. I think we should throw some batteries in this thing and see where we're at. I also gotta pop the hood off real quick.
Hey, pop the hood.
Pop the hood?
Pop the hood.
Okay, I've had this thing off before and she is not light. Ooh, that's good for my back. Perfect. Hello? Hello? Nobody's home. Okay, so my plan is to try turning this over with 0 compression. So I pulled the spark plugs. They're all sitting here, and this is the state of them. They look to be in great shape, all of them. So we're gonna leave them be, but for now I'm just gonna leave them dangle here. I'm gonna fill the cylinders one more time with some quality schmutz, and we'll see if we can't get this thing hooked up and spinning over. Battery box has seen better days. I'm figuring that just the way that the wires are run, that this blue-ish cable is my positive. This black one is my ground. Yeah, this runs to a body ground. I have obviously the wrong terminal connection, so I'm gonna use a vice grip just to get her done. Okay, so blue is my positive. I verified I do have 12 volts at the battery. There you go, 12.45. So I got voltage at my starter switch. Only thing left to do is bump the key and see if she turns over. I really got my fingers crossed because it looks good in there, but it feels so tight at the fan. And I'll fill you in up here why that might be before we hit the switch. So let's jump up in the cab. Okay, so
Here's the earth.
we're live, but here's my worry. When I reach for the clutch all the way forward is disengaged and I can't get it to budge. That might be all the way forward, but it doesn't feel like it. It moves a little bit back, but not much, which tells me, you know, something's seized up down there. But I know all the way forward is my disengaged position, so I'm leaving it there. The gear selector, I can't get it to shift. It sounds like things are happening there with the forks, but nothing's engaging. So it feels like it's in neutral. So again, just crossing my fingers. Let's hit the switch, see what happens. Here we go. It's gonna spin over. Come on, baby. I'm in gear. The tracks are moving. Oh no, oh no. Okay, good news and bad news. Good news is the engine's free. Bad news is I am in gear for sure. And I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get it out. I'll try one more time with pressure on the clutch, and hopefully by doing that, maybe it'll slip out. Excuse me for my crotch shot right now. I'm trying to keep it interesting. Come on, baby. My winch is also moving. It's not looking good. Nope. There goes my first hydraulic line. Did I get you? You know that saying, do the best you can with what you got? Well, I got a couple 5-gallon buckets, one that I broke earlier, and yeah, this should be fine. All right, we've got good news. We've got bad news. Bad news is I blew a hydraulic line and I don't have plugs or new hydraulic lines, so I can't crank it over anymore, otherwise it's just gonna keep pumping fluid out. I did loop the other line back through, so technically I could, but it's got a crack in it too, so I'm sure give it 2 seconds on pressure and that thing's blowing too, and then I don't have anything to loop back in to keep water and stuff out of the system while I'm gone picking up plugs. So bad news. Good news, it turns over. Bad news, it's in gear and I can't get it out. More good news, neighbor dropped by, Earl, nice guy. He gave me a Gatorade, and that's good news. He said, you gonna get old Bessie up and running? I said, not sure yet, but she turns over. He was on one of those like utility vehicles, like a Gator. And he said, hey, I just got new rims. I put the stock ones on Marketplace, no one's biting. Do you want them? Of course I want them. So unfortunately, that's where I'm gonna cap it for today. I'm gonna clean up, put everything back the way it's supposed to be. I know I said I was stopping for the day, but I got the clutch to budge just a little bit more, and I think we are all good. It's now turning over. Check it out. Ready? All right, sounds like we got a compression from all 4 cylinders too. It's blowing out really well, but I got my spark plugs down here and I don't think I have spark, unfortunately. So I'm gonna have to open this Magneto up, and it's just 4 screws, pop that cover off, see what our contacts are like in there, and then pop the cap off as well and see what our rotor and contacts in there are like. They're probably corroded. It's been sitting here for a long time, so we'll sand them up, see if that's going to be the fix. Is this how I get power to my... Is that this? You got to confirm that.
I tried so hard to really love you, baby, but you could understand that I was only trying to do the best I can. When you came along, we were so happy, baby, but you could understand that I was only trying to do the best I can. When you came along, we were so happy, baby. I tried so hard to really love you, baby. I tried so hard to really love you, baby.
Okay, so I was right. This is my grounding wire for my condenser. So now if I put my positive lead on top of the coil, crank her over, I got power. Okay, then our point set, there's 3 screws. I found 1, 2, 3 on the back, and you pop this open. Okay, and there's your points back there. So we also got to file those down. It looks pretty clean though. So I did some shopping. Here's the deal. We're back on this thing another day, and I think I'm very close here. But the problem that I'm having is spark with that Magneto. I've honestly never had to work on a Magneto before. The most I've ever done is sanded some points and called it good. Unfortunately, I've sanded every piece of that whole setup and I got nothing. So I went home, went on the lines, picked up a rebuild kit, expecting the coil to be my issue. Unfortunately, there's really no good way that I know of that you can test the coil. They're relatively affordable. I think this whole kit was somewhere around $100, and for peace of mind to know that all the pieces are replaced and are in good working order after I'm done with this, I'm thinking that $100 is gonna be worth it. At least I'm hoping. All my fingers and my toes are crossed. So I'm gonna peel this open. I believe this is my coil sitting in this box here. It is. If you don't know what a coil looks like, it's this. A little bit different than your standard coil on like a regular points ignition system on a car. This is the old school coil. So I'm gonna throw this thing in. Haven't decided if I'm gonna replace the points or not, because the points, to be honest, look really nice. And I got some other miscellaneous pieces, parts that I can replace as well. So I'm gonna quit yapping. I'd like to get this thing rebuilt and in working order soon so I can address the fuel situation and see if we can't start turning this thing over with some spark and see if it fires up. So let's get to work.
But you could understand that I was only trying to do the best I can. When you came along, we were so happy, baby. But you could understand that I was only trying to do the best I can. When you came along, we were so happy, baby. I tried so hard to really love you, baby. I tried so hard to really love you, baby.
That does not feel right. Well, I don't know if this is American made, but it was American purchased. And look at this condenser. I was having problems with fitment, and it's literally in like a 1/16 of an inch long. And that's keeping me from getting this installed. I don't have a solution for that short of taking some threads off, but really rather not do that. I mean, this is really delicate stuff. It's brass, you know, and I don't know if this is bad, if this condenser is bad or not. So I could just try it with the old one in. But I believe since the casing is the part that's longer, it doesn't matter what I do to the threads. It's going to be too big. Man, that is so frustrating. You spend good money on this stuff, and you can't even get the right frickin' part.
It's freaking bats.
Alright, I'm gonna try running with the old one, see what happens, and then it sucks because, you know, it's an hour drive for me to drive out here. So every time I have to hang up my hat for the day and bring it back, I'm spending fuel and time just to get out here. That is so frustrating. I always hate killing things, just in general. Not for me.
Not a fan.
Alright. That's put back together. I'm hoping I don't need this new condenser. We're gonna hook the battery up, spin her over, and see if we got spark. Fingers crossed. Okay, test one. Nothing. That's not good. I still am not sure about this whole ground wire situation. I just have it jumping to this screw, and I realized I had it on the washer, which wouldn't be doing anything, but I also don't know if that keeps it from having spark. So try number two. Also, you probably can't see this. I guess it doesn't really matter if we don't have spark. Yes! Alright. We got spark. Oh, nice.
Shake hands for danger.
Ouch! Oh, 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 oh. Ow. God, that'll get you. That is a strong spark. I can vouch for that. Reminded me of the grape lady. Okay, we got spark. Awesome. I gotta jump around, get fuel hooked up, and then once we do that, hopefully my carb rebuild was solid enough to run off of. Hopefully our timing is good. Haven't checked that and don't quite know how to. Yeah, let's throw these plugs in, get fuel hooked up, see if it'll pop off. All right, let's see what this looks like. It smells terrible. There's a filter in here. That looks okay. All in all, not too bad. I think I might just drain this and throw some new fuel in it. I could probably leave some of this in there even. I don't know how much is in that tank. Probably not a lot. But that's all I'm gonna do. Just drain it out of the valve. I almost put this filter in without cleaning it. I'll clean this filter, empty that out, and fill her back up. Should be good to go. Fuel is actually off, so let's turn that on. So at the valve back here, I'm not gonna lie, I just cracked this thing open and that looks like red off-road diesel and it looks clean. So I think I might just mix some new fuel in it and run it. I'm also gonna run this Lucas fuel treatment.
Lucas, why don't you tell your friends to come down? I cut some strawberries.
It was on sale, so picked up a bottle of this. This treats up to 25 gallons, so I'm just gonna send it, pour this in there, mix my good fuel in there, call it a day. Okay, so I turned on my fuel and realized I was leaking everywhere. I've taken a closer look at this gasket. You can see the sharp edges. Clearly homemade, so probably not made from the best material, and I'm assuming it's swelled over time and now it's too swollen and it won't fit around the ring and seal properly. So I'm gonna do what anyone else would do and just take this over and trim it up some more, and hopefully it'll fit in that ring tighter and seal. I don't really have any other option. I can't get that bowl to quit leaking. I am really struggling with that gasket. I think I just need to find the part and order a new one. However, I'm here. I have gas to the carb, which the needle and seat is not needle and seating either. But the key is I have fuel, I have spark. I just want to see if I can get this thing fired on the gas side, maybe even the diesel side, but with that leak, I don't know if I'll be able to bleed enough air out of the system in order to do so. But we're going to give it a go because I would love just to hear this thing run. So I'm going to hop up there, turn the key. There is no key for this unit, and see if we can get this thing just to make some noise. See what happens. Choke is on. Find myself a comfy little spot here. Attempt number 1. Let's see. Come on. Come on. I know you want it. More choke. Oh, I never checked my oil bath air cleaner, and I think we're full of water. So let's see what we got in there first. Full of water. Oh no. Ain't gonna run like that. Ugh. Gross. Close quarters in here with this lever. Oh, that is some milkshake. Lovely. Ah, good Lord. It's just what I wanted to see. We're gonna let that one fly for now. See if we can't trek on, and I'll fill that with oil later. All right, so we're gonna try this with ether. The tough part with these is you don't have any throttle control. It's just one setting. So it makes it difficult to control because all you have is a choke to control fuel, basically. So let's see what it does with ether and then assess from there. Come on. Go, baby, go! Come on, baby! Woo! I bet you if I stop giving it ether, though, it's gonna quit. Come on, keep going. Go, baby, go! No, no, no. We're so close. Okay, well, that was cool, but we're still struggling to keep it running, and I'm not sure. I have a feeling it has something to do with all that water that was in that air cleaner. So I don't know. I'm gonna tear into that air cleaner just a little bit before I head out of here, and I'm gonna see what we got. Go from there. I don't know what I'm looking at. This seems to be some sort of rubber boot or something that has disintegrated. I'm not exactly sure. At first I was thinking it was just buildup, but I really Tough to say. I think it's just buildup. Let's get that out of there. Screwdriver that came with the machine and has obviously been sitting out here for a long time. That just looks like dirt. All right, just out of curiosity, let's just give it a go like this. A little bit of ether in my hand, and I'm not afraid to use it. With all that water out of there, let's just see if it'll run any better. Hopefully just run, that'd be great. Oh, I wish I had a better way to sit. It's just miserable like this.
Finish him!
Yellow jackets, wasps, and bumblebees. Out of the three groupings that we have here on this machine, I thought for sure the wasp or yellow jacket was going to get me. Nope, bumblebee, right in the chin. I don't know if you could see it, because it's probably not that big of a deal. Anyway, nothing's going right. But that's okay. Woosah. So, plan moving forward. I am going to leave the carburetor on, because the problem is I can't get out here, you know, in a timely manner. So anything that I take off, I have risk of things getting into the engine, etc. So I'm going to leave the carb on because I know I cleaned it. I know the parts are new, like gaskets and such. I'm going to bring carb cleaner. I have my compressor on the back of my truck, but I'm going to bring home the air cleaner, clean it really good, make sure it's nice and dry, bring oil with me because I don't even have oil. Get that all set up, try it then, and then if I'm still having issues, I'll tear open the carburetor, but with the proper tools. I also need new spark plugs because my number 4 cylinder, as I was checking the spark plug to see if it was dry, which it was, I broke the porcelain. Perfect. So I need a set of spark plugs, clean the air cleaner, and bring carb stuff with me next time. And hopefully, oh, and a new gasket for my diesel bowl. And then, hopefully she'll run. I'll see you then. All right, we're back on this thing. I have a couple parts, little gaskets to keep some fuel in to where it's supposed to stay, diesel side and gasoline side. But more importantly, the pressing issue, my oil bath air filter. It's all cleaned up. I soaked her down in diesel, compressed air, diesel, compressed air. There's really no way to open this thing up without destroying it. So that's what I did, and I think it worked out pretty well. Here's the bottom side too, nice and clean. So I am just going to throw this thing back together, fill the oil back up to the line that it's supposed to be, and we're going to twist the key and see what happens. There is no key for this unit. Okay, I will say this thing is not light. It's a heavy filter. Pull my rag out of there that I pressed up in here last time. Keep the critters out. Let's weasel this sucker back in here. Ugh. Whoa. Almost fell off the tractor. That would have sucked. Oh yeah, also I just about lost a digit yesterday.
Danger.
Working on finishing up my siding. But I do still have my fingers, so that's good. I will say a large chunk is missing, and it didn't feel good. I'm also being dramatic. It's not that bad. Okay, now we take our oil, and we're gonna fill it up to the fill line. Pretty self-explanatory. I'm not sure how much fluid this actually takes, but I'm sure a gallon will be plenty. Now we put it back in, cinch her down, call it good. No. Oh, you are joking. Son of a gun. My whole bowl's broken. And of course, I'm just now finding this out now. Couldn't have found that out last time I was here, so I could order a new bowl. Dang. Unfortunately, a gasket is not gonna fix this leak. Okay, just moving on.
One eternity later.
Fuel is on. Give this thing a little test bump.
Tutski.
All right, let's see if she'll go. Choke, compression's off, throttle's down. Say a prayer. Running? Are we running? We got oil pressure. Woo! That's the gas side. Woo! Oh, sweet victory. Whew. All right. Oh, man. Long time coming. All right, so a couple things. I can't get too carried away here. First and foremost, remember my belt is still broken in here, so I got a farmer's fix that before I get too carried away, because I don't have any charging capabilities. I also don't have any cooling capabilities. I was watching my gauges there, and they were working. I do have oil pressure. The temp gauge was moving. I don't exactly know how long I can run it for. There's just water sitting in the block, but without that fan rotating, I don't have any sort of circulation at all. So before I get this running on the diesel side, I'm gonna let this sit. Hopefully I'm not wearing my batteries down too low. I do have my jump pack, but I need to fix up that fan belt before I get any further. I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do there. It's gonna be a little bit janky, but it should get the job done, and then we'll go from there. All right, I'm giving you the best view that I can get you here. So here's our belt, obviously broken right here. All I'm gonna do is an old farmer's fix with some baling wire. I'm just gonna drill a couple holes and just stab through some baling wire and twist her up, and hopefully that'll hold it enough just to let it run for a little bit. Obviously, I want to replace this belt in its entirety, but this is not an easy belt to get to. You have to dismount the whole hydraulic pump down there and then get it around the fan from there. Not an easy job, probably not a cheap belt either, and I want to make sure that everything is functioning correctly before I start throwing, you know, real parts and time at this machine. So for now, this is what we're going to do. Hopefully I can weasel my way in here well enough to get this done, or at least sufficient. So let's see how this goes.
Non so chi sei, cosa fai, il tuo nome non so. Mi devo passare ma tu non t'accorgi di me. Ehi, 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 vieni qui dammi retta, ecco se fumo se su. Vieni qui dammi retta, sempre con tu. Vieni qui dammi retta, fumo se secco se fu. Vieni qui dammi reggo se fumo se sogno sei sempre con me. Vieni qui dammi retta, sì fumo se su. Vieni qui dammi reggo se fumo se sogno sei sempre con me. Sei cosa fai, il tuo nome non so.
All right, with that done, back on the diesel side, if you remember, obviously you remember, I broke my sediment bowl, and that has since been replaced, and I've got a new quart gasket on that. Hopefully it holds. So let's turn on the fuel. Okay, fuel on. It's starting to come awfully slow. Maybe if I crack the bleeder, which I don't have a flathead on me. Yeah, there it goes. Just needed some air to it, that's all. All right, come on. Hold for me. Holding. Bleeding. There we go, that's bled. Ugh, I regret everything. I should have grabbed a screwdriver. That's brass. Oh well, it's all right. Okay, that's bled. I'll probably have to crack these open as well. Actually, no, I won't do those. Up at the injectors, duh. Fuel is hooked back up. Let's give her a crank. Fan's running now. Now is a horrible time to be cutting the grass. Let's give her another go. Fan's working now. Running again. Okay, so the book says I gotta let it run on the gasoline side for a few minutes before even trying to start it on diesel, which is pretty hot out today. So a couple minutes and I should be able to start fiddling with it. But I'm gonna let it sit here and idle for a little bit. What I don't know, I wonder if I could turn the fuel on the diesel side with the bleeders cracked in order to bleed the fuel. I'm not sure how that works. I'm going to try cracking in an injector, see what happens. See, I figured because it's awfully smoky, so I wonder if I got fuel is kind of on even though it shouldn't be. I'm going to keep bleeding these. Alright, I'm shutting the gasoline off. Dying down. As soon as it dies down, I should be able to flip the lever and turn up the diesel. Come on. Oh, I wanted to. Alright, all hooked back up. Fuel is on. Let's give her another go. Alright, here we go. Alright, here we go.
Ting Wong.
Not running right. Having that decompression lever is a godsend right now. Okay, so runaway diesel. 9 times out of 10 when that happens, like, ooh, hot. God, the sun is hot today. 9 times out of 10, runaway diesel just means that it's getting way too much fuel and it is out of control. It is uncontrollable. So most mechanical injection pumps, after sitting for a long time, whatever their governing system is, it's pretty common for them to get seized up and get stuck in an open position. You fire up the machine and you're giving it full throttle, run away, and kapowie. So unfortunately, I don't know anything about these Bosch injection pumps, so I'm gonna read up on this. When I first came out here, I was just shooting in the dark. I popped this cover plate off and soaked the plungers down in schmutz, but that obviously did not do anything. So I got the book with me. I'm gonna read up on this a little bit. I'll get back to you. Updates. I believe this is the governing system under this cover. This is the breather for it. So I don't know, I didn't see any sort of drawing on what's behind this, but I'm gonna guess, take these bolts off, see what I see. Hopefully I see some sort of rack underneath there so I can see if my throttle is controlling the rack itself. So let's see. There we go. That was definitely it. Great way to get in here. Here we go. That had to be it. I feel like this is supposed to be more full of oil, but I'm gonna read into that before I do anything. I don't even know what kind of oil is supposed to be in there. I think there's water in there right now, to be honest. Pretty sure this is supposed to be full of oil. Anyway, let's throw this back together and see if that works. Okay, fuel is live, battery is live. We are ready to go for, I believe this would be take 3 for the day, maybe 4. I don't know, I'm losing count, but I got high hopes. Let's see what happens. That's diesel. Come on. That's diesel. Come on, baby. Woo! That's diesel. We're running. Yeah. Oh, man. Oh, woo! Alright, let's jump right into it. Let's see if we got gears. It wants to go up, but remember I busted a hydraulic line. So I don't know if it's gonna. The owner was just waving at me. That's so cool. We're running. Oh, that's cool. The owners are here, so they get to see it for the first time. That is really, really sweet. Very cool. Bummer about the gears, but I saw that coming. I knew that was going to be a thing. Look, it's already pushing up dirt. Oh, this is going to be awesome. Still needs a lot of work, but hey, she's running and running well too. Already pushing up some dirt. Wow, what a rush. Awesome. I have been working on this thing for about 5 months now, I think. And you know, it's tough because it's an hour away and I'm never down in this direction. So the only time I'm driving up here is when I'm working on this. So this has been really rewarding.
It's like a reward.
I'm sure I'm going to have a nice chat with the ladies in the house next door, because this was obviously dad's and husband's, and he's since passed. So it's stuff like this that really, you know, really makes you feel good. You know, it's a cool feeling. So very cool to see this thing running after greater than 20 years at least, and such a cool piece of history. You know, 1941, you think about it and it kind of blows your mind that this thing runs this well. How many years? 85-ish years later, right? It is just super, super incredible. Obviously, the work is not over. I am going to end the video here. I am sure it is getting long-winded, and we at least achieved this portion of the goal. Now that we've verified that it is running and running well, I'm gonna sink some money into hydraulic hoses. We'll get the at least the one repaired that's blown off right now, so I can lift the blade up and down, because right now it's just working off of that one side. So I need the other boom in order to lift the blade up and down. We'll get that done. We'll tear into the transmission. Obviously clutch is working, but I can't find any of the gears. It's not shifting anywhere. And of course, with this barn right here, I need to go in reverse. I can't fiddle with it and, you know, move forward and start jamming things into gear, because I only got 8 foot until I'm running a barn over. So I'm gonna have to tear into that, see if we can't figure that one out. But with this, now I'm really excited. So this story has just begun. Super excited for this thing. You're gonna see a lot more of it on the channel here coming up. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. I'm super excited. I did, for those of you that reach out to me telling me to talk to Matt at Diesel Creek, he's a big inspiration, you know, to me, and part of the reason why I started the channel. Seems like a pretty down-to-earth guy. I did meet him once at the Con Expo, and I did reach out to him for this thing. I know he's an international fan. Obviously, he's an old iron type of guy. So I shot him an email, and he was nice enough to reply.
My dad actually emailed his people to see if he would. They just wrote back no.
I mean, it's nice that they responded.
Yeah.
But obviously, the guy's schedule's pretty packed. As you know, I'm sure if you found my channel, you're probably well aware of his. So maybe give him some crap. You know, he said he was too busy to take on the project, but wish me luck. Maybe the day will come where we'll be able to tinker on this thing together and maybe do a little joint video. That'd be pretty cool. So be sure to bug Matt about that. Drop some comments on his profile and tag him in mine. Maybe we can make something happen. So anyway, with that, Matt, buddy, you missed out. This thing is bringing a smile to everyone's face. So I'm super excited to continue on with this project. But like I said, for now, we're going to bring this one to a close, call that a wrap, and a big time success. If you enjoyed the video, please do me a favor, like it, share it, subscribe, all that fun stuff. It's videos like this that I'm hoping will, you know, start to give me some traction. I appreciate each and every one of you that hang around with me and come back and watch time and time again. My journey is definitely just begun, but I'm really looking forward to the future. So you can follow me on Instagram, the Facebook, the Tiki Talkies, and with that, I don't have anything else to say except always remember, don't be afraid to grab that wrench and get after yourself. See you in the next one.